Today I'm explaining about another assignment in Illustrator. Okay, suppose yesterday we had finished this 3D bottle design. Okay, now typography. So this is very useful. Okay, so sometimes we use text. With text only we can decorate our designs without using any illustrations, photographs, pictures. Okay, if you use only type and different font of the different style of the fonts, by using them, if you can decorate your page, your design, that can be a typography design. So without using your pictures to photographs, okay, use only different fonts of different fonts and text in a decorative manner in your design. That can be a typography actually. Okay, it has some the theory. Okay, so I'll explain today about that, just you can follow them. Yes, it is all about typography. Typography is the science of using letter forms for communication. We use letter forms extensively in our daily life in various media like newspapers, signages, application forms, letters, notebooks, textbooks, currency notes, posters, tickets, SMS, email, etc. A very large number of digital fonts are available for a graphic designer to use in design projects. A designer carefully chooses fonts after understanding the design problem, the medium, target audience, production aspects, and the context. Fonts have unique characteristics and need to be carefully chosen and used to achieve good results in communication. We know very well. So generally fonts, different kind of fonts we use in newspapers, signages, application forms, notebooks, textbooks, letters, currency notes, posters, SMS, email, tickets. Okay, we use in a regular daily life. Okay, so in daily regular communication we are using, but as per your need and requirement we have to choose them carefully. Okay, and then you can arrange them beautifully and decoratively. Here if you observe this hello, without adding picture, without adding any picture, simply we are understanding by this hello. Okay, because of these two strokes and the text applied here hello, we are understanding this. This is expressive typography, and you can apply this expressively. And here the classification in English, fonts are classified into several groups. There are three main groups. Okay, so one is serifs, sans serif, script serif. A serif is the pointed ending of a stroke, as in L or T, I or T. This is inspired by the letters carved on stone using chisels. Thickness of the strokes also changes in these letter forms, like those drawn by flat brushes. Serif fonts are known for their readability and is widely used in text composition for books, newspapers, magazines, etc., where a large amount of text is to be composed in small point sizes. Okay, so if you observe here, these are the serif and sans serifs. So serifs means here, see the base, the thickness of the, like elephant foot. Okay, the thickness of that is a serif. The sans serif means the without sans. So sans means without. So here it is the thick stroke, like there is no the curvy points both sides, the bottom are anywhere top or bottom. Here the bottom only showing. The sans means without. Okay, serifs has this. sans serif. Sans means without. Sans serif means without serif. Sans serif fonts have blunt endings, okay, thick the endings to the strokes. Almost all these strokes look like equal thickness as if drawn by a marker pen. Sans serif fonts give a modern look and is widely used in logos and symbols, packaging, signages, websites, mobile phone interfaces and gaming consoles, etc. Okay, so this is serif and sans serifs. Okay, the thick, the bottom, the thick like the pillar, like the thick stroke. Okay, it has the serifness. The script fonts recreate the visual styling of calligraphy. The letters imitate the feeling of calligraphic nibs. Okay, with a slant to the right and changing thickness of strokes. These fonts give a festive and personal look to the reader and are very commonly used in wedding invitation. So these we observe mostly in invitations, wedding invitations. Okay, so these kind of situations we use them. Here font family, we use uppercase and lowercase. We know this already. Capital letters are called uppercase letters in typographical terminology. During hand compositing, metal type of all capital letters were stored in the upper section of the wooden boxes kept in front of the person composing the text. Similarly, all small letters are called lowercase letters, which were stored in the lower part of the composing box. These are the upper and lowercase letters. Then here ascenders. Ascender is the portion of the alphabet that ascends or exceeds above the x height of an alphabet, as in D, D, T and L. Descender is that portion of an alphabet that goes below or extend downwards from the x height of an alphabet, as in G, J, Q and P. Ascender and descender. Suppose this is the typography. Okay, anatomy of the typography. If you observe here, see, this is the ascender from the x height, the below the part. So x height is, this is actual length of the font. This is the middle portion of the font. Okay, just below the x height it is descender, above the x height it is ascender. Okay, and this is the total, the font size. It is the font size, and this is the counterness. X height of lowercase is called x height. This varies considerably in typefaces. X size contributes to the readability. And counter space, the empty space or negative space. The counterness means the negative spacing. In drawing, generally an anatomy term, I explained you about the negative spacing means between gaps. Okay, empty space or negative space inside a letter form is called a counterness. Counter. Shape of the counter varies according to the designer who creates the font. Depends on that. The counter space also helps in identifying different fonts. The shapes can be creatively used in creating logos. And the point sizes. You know, font size 10 point, 15 point, 24 point, 72 points. The size of fonts are generally specified in point size. In typography, the smallest unit of the measure is a point. Okay, specified as PT, short form of the point. At the time of letterpress, space for printing were specified in picas or ems, which were subdivided into points. 1 inch is equal to 72 points, 1 point is equal to 0.353 mm, 1 pica is 12 points, 1 inch is equal to 6 pica. This is for the information. Generally we know these point sizes. See the point size. Okay, so this is the minimum of that. Okay, this is the maximum of that. And see, these are the picas and inches, showing the difference between inches, the points, and the picas. Next, leading is the space between lines of text. We use this, okay, in design sometimes. The kerning is the process of adjusting the spacing between characters in a proportional font, usually to achieve a visually pleasing result. In typography, letter spacing also referred to as tracking by typographers. So tracking is the process of loosening or tightening a block of text. Here again, you'll understand by this visual the kerning, spacing, tracking, and leading. The kerning means for the each text font, the each one, the between the space. Okay, spacing is the between the words, the gap here. Okay, this is the tracking, the tightness of that, and kerning is between this again. Okay, so leading means here to here, the space between this. Okay, so this is about kerning, spacing, and tracking and leading. Font weight, the amount of boldness in stroke, is called weight. So many fonts are available in different weights, like thin or light, regular, bold, extra bold, or extra black, etc. By changing the weight of the font, one can emphasize or express the meaning of the word. Sometimes we use thin, thick fonts. Suppose for the heading, for the important things, we use these thick fonts. So we emphasize our idea, our intention, okay, by using these thick fonts. And here text formatting. Once a suitable font has been selected, it has to be typeset, arranged, or formatted in a desirable manner so that it looks comfortable to read. Various things contribute to make a document easily readable. Okay. Text alignment. Text can be composed in different alignments. Usually text is aligned in one of the following ways: the left alignment, left aligned, justified, center aligned, right alignment. We use this generally. See here, this is the left alignment, justification, in central alignment, and a right alignment. And here the bubbles and reverse. So we'll understand what is this generally. Here the bubbles means when you give the justification here. Suppose this is the justification, the space, see there, the emptiness here. Suppose if you enter here, see my cursor here, follow. If you enter here, it is the gap is creating like one river, like otherwise one lake, the between the gaps, because it is justified, the gaps are created and it is showing like a river. Okay, so that is the river. The bubbles means the gaps, unwanted gaps between created, those are the bubbles. And river means from top to bottom look like a river because of the justified font it created, that is the river and bubbles. Okay, so an unwanted ugly white space, okay, which appears between words is called a bubble. A river means a series of white space. White spaces or bubbles make an ugly white line in a paragraph called a river. This too causes discomfort in reading. Okay, because of that's the reason sometimes we don't use these justifications. Widow, a small word or the last syllable of a hyphenated word at the end of a paragraph is called widow. This is considered to be typographically distracting to the reader. Orphan, a short isolated line at the top of a column or a page is called orphan. It is usually the last line of a paragraph from the preceding column. Orphan confuses the reader because they are separated from the main paragraph due to the position. An orphan often causes typographically distraction. Text composition, which leaves the first line of a paragraph at the bottom of a column, also causes distraction to the reader. Okay, so you'll understand by this. This is the orphan, this is the widow. Suppose see, in this paragraph, the last word is orphan. Okay, and here in this the two rows paragraphs, this is totally separated. This is a widow. Okay, so we are we're understanding by this name easily the orphan and widow separated. Expressive typography. A designer can use fonts creatively for expressing various emotions. One can select a font which can convey an emotion, or you can play around with the way you use letters. So this is called expressive typography. By this we are understanding easily the fleshness. So this is the typography, creative typography. And suppose here short, S-H-O-R-T, short, this is indicating H form, H text, S-H-O-T, short means shortness. Infinity, so this is endless, infinity, it is the expressive typography. Next, drop cap and clip. So drop cap means an oversized capital letter often used at the start of a paragraph that drops into two or more lines of text but can also climb upwards. Okay, so clip is an singular mark that makes a part of font, whether a letter, number, punctuation mark, or even a dingbat. Okay, clips are the building blocks of typography. So if you understand this, this is the a drop cap. So drop cap, usually we use it the starting of the paragraph. We use the big size of the text, and sometimes you use different colors also. It occupies 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 to 7 rows, 7 lines it occupies. Okay, that is the drop cap. These are the clips. Okay, the symbols look like. So here can punctuation marks, you can use them. Typography, it is a pattern. Gutter. So typography gutters are the white spaces between columns in a newspaper article. Okay, so generally, usually in newspapers it has 8 columns, 6 columns, it depends on the newspaper. Generally between these columns a gap, it is called gutter. The gutter means one, this is 2 columns, between these 2 columns the gap is called gutter. Okay, and again about picas, explaining 1/6 of an inch in length, the pica is associated with line length and column width. There are 12 points or 16 pixels in one pica. Okay. The points is again standard typographical measurement equal to 1/12 of a pica or 1/72 of an inch. Yes, true type fonts. Okay, so true type font technology was originally developed by Apple in the late 1980s, but was later adapted by Microsoft and has since become the standard for Windows platforms. The key difference is that with the true font, a single font file contains both the screen and print outline information. This means that whilst they are easily portable, they can cause problems when it comes to print. In fact, the font on the page may come out entirely different to the font in your design. These TrueType fonts originally developed by this Apple group in the 1980s. Okay, so then these were adapted by this Microsoft. Okay, these are run on the Windows platform. This key difference is the TrueType fonts single font file contains both the screen and print outline information. Okay, so for the screen means in system also it shows the same, and outline and print also it is the information, it has the same. This means they're easily portable. They can cause problems when it comes to print. In fact, the font on the page may come out entirely different to the font in your design. Of course, on the screen it looks differently, and when you print it, it shows differently. Okay, so these are then Opentype is a cross platform font file format developed jointly by Adobe and Microsoft. These Microsoft and Adobe people jointly they developed this Opentype. Adobe has converted the entire Adobe type library into this format and now offers thousands of Opentype fonts. Opentype fonts, the free fonts like. The two main benefits of the Opentype formats are its cross-platform compatibility. The same font file works on Macintosh and Windows computers. Okay, these fonts, file fonts generally we use from Mac, for Mac and Windows also. Okay, and it is ability to support widely expanded character sets and layout features, which provide richer linguistic support and advanced typographical controls, because these are the open fonts. Okay, those are free fonts actually. The Postscript fonts were developed in 1984 based on the Adobe Postscript language. Postscript is a high quality digital format. As such, these fonts were widely used in professional typesetting, graphic design and desktop publishing. Okay, they give you consistent control over text and layouts. What you can see on your screen will be the same no matter the output device. So these are the very important Postscript fonts. Generally we use always in 1984 this Adobe Postscript font language they developed, because it high quality digital format we use professionally for all the typesetting, graphic design and desktop publishing. Because of this, the quality and crystal clear quality, whether you see on screen web or the same thing you can print. Okay, the screen will be the same, or no matter the output device, you can print and on screen or out screen also the output to create the crystal clarity it shows. That is because the Postscript fonts are made up of two files: a digital file containing bitmap information for display, okay, on screens and monitors, and a file containing outline information for printing the font. When it comes to commercial printing, both font files will be included with the application file, meaning Postscript produces more reliable results. The font on the page will perfectly match the font on your screen. Okay, so because it has the bitmap information also there, and at the same time the file containing outline information for printing the font. So that is the reason this Postscript produces more reliable results. Okay, so then which font type is better when it comes to print? So definitely we have a doubt. So which font we have to use? TrueType can lead to issues during printing. For professional printing purposes, Postscript fonts are state of the art and always recommended. If you want the highest quality when it comes to print, use Postscript. true type fonts can often be found free of charge on the internet. As a result, they are often of poor quality, intended for screen viewing only. Okay, yes, for professional uses, for high quality printing, better to use these Postscript fonts. But sometimes we use true type fonts because they are free of charge. Okay, so internet you can download them and you can use. Okay, but oftenly it gives the poor quality, intended for screen viewing only. For the web uses purpose only we use. Better not to use for the printing. When you are planning for the printing, you must use these Postscript fonts. Because of this, it is essential to comply with the golden rule: always convert true type fonts into paths. This the super important but also super easy. So when you use these fonts in any design, you better to convert this into paths. Well, it is essential to convert true type fonts before printing. It is also highly recommended to the same with the Postscripts. Although Postscript is more reliable on account of its double file format, you can never be too safe. For example, one of the files might be missing, so you better to convert this into paths. See, these are the fonts times formal, the Postscript fonts. So these are Opentype Postscripts, okay, and true type fonts. This is an this is about the typography theory, but in the next class definitely we are going to do practical work for typography. Okay, so this is the simple theory. Okay, so definitely I'll share with this the PowerPoint, so anytime you can use, you can read and remember this. Okay, yes. See, these are the fonts, and already I explained you about these are the left alignment, center alignment, right alignment. Okay, and this is justification, and here it is the justify with the last line aligned. This is justify with the last line aligned right, and here it is completely justify all lines, so properly insert into that box. Okay, and here see the font sizes. Okay, and here it is showing set the leading of the fonts. Suppose see, I'm applying and showing a cursor, it is showing the leadingness. Okay, and suppose here if you check this, it has set the kerning between two characters, so kerningness. Suppose this is in okay, it must be, it is in the 0 values. You can check this. Suppose these areas. The minus. So kerning or extended selections can only be set to auto or 0. To modify spacing between multiple characters, use the writing option. Okay, and now if you see there, set the tracking for selected characters. See there the selected portion, so we are using this. And now here we have other options also there, and see all the caps. You can click on that, we'll get all the captions. Okay, and again click on that, we'll get in the small caps, and here it is superscripts. Okay, so you can subscripts. and here it is underlines, and here it is strike through. See, these are the fonts characterizations and the properties of the fonts and alignments and the size of the text, font size, and this is set the leading and kerning. Okay, about these things. Okay, suppose here suppose design, I'm giving DESIGN, the design text is there. Okay, here I'm giving the font size, this 72, and here suppose I'm giving number 500. Okay, this is the 500, and suppose here I'll give 1000. Okay, and suppose here I'm using 1500. Yes, you can select this. Yes, and give that, and suppose here 1200. Okay, and here I use 1300. So that means what? The maximum, the font size we use 1296. Okay, when not the 1300. 1296 up to 1296 point you can use the maximum size, and the same thing the minimum size of that. Check the minimum size. Here it is showing 6 pointer. It is a 6 pointer. Suppose where is that? Deleted. Okay, anyway I'll use here. It is in 6 point, means very small point. To see something in your designs, okay, at least minimum we need 6 point, not less than that. If you use less than that, suppose I'm giving here, suppose 2, nobody can see this. Suppose 1, it is impossible to see that. And suppose here 0.5 I'm giving, see, and again 0.1, nothing is there. Okay, so what we do, the minimum is there, but at least to understand the caption, to understand the text, at least we want a 6 point. Okay, up to 1296 we use the maximum size of that. Okay, this is about the typography, the theory. Okay, in the next class I'll explain about we prepare a design on typography without using any pictures and the photographs. Okay, so I'll share this later. Okay, just you can refer the video and try to understand. If you have any doubt, please ask. Thank you.